Did you know that a player from the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft was once visited by the United States Secret Service? Or that the server's decade-old landscape actually ended up in a real art museum? Or that out in the wilderness, the server has a naturally spawning snow golem, an occurrence so rare in the game that the Minecraft wiki says it's not even possible? Or that Brine, yes, the Brine, joined the server not once, but twice. This is just a taste of some of the crazy things that have happened on Tubies over the past 10 years. I've dedicated this video to telling you 20 things you probably didn't know about the server. Almost all of these facts have never been mentioned in my previous videos, so even longtime viewers of mine may be surprised by some of them. I hope you're prepared because I've been working on this list for a while and it's a real monster. So how appropriate that Monster Legends is sponsoring today's video. Monster Legends is a free-to-play mobile game where you collect and battle monsters. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it right now by clicking the link in the description. There are hundreds of different monsters to collect, all with their own unique appearance and abilities. The game's colorful art style allows for some very unique designs and smooth animations. Some of these monsters resemble YouTubers that you might be familiar with. The game has a breeding system that lets you take two monsters and pair them together to get new ones. You can feed your monsters food and take them to battle. The game has different PvP modes, including special dungeons and an expansive adventure map. Once you're ready, you can take your monsters and fight your friends with them in real-time multiplayer to see who's number one. There are new in-game events every single week, so you'll always find something to do, challenges to overcome, and new adventures to take part in. And remember, like I said, the game is free to play, so if you download the game using the link in the description, you'll automatically be rewarded 50,000 food, the epic monster Norian, which will eventually grow into a total beast, and 300,000 gold. Not a bad way to get started. So what are you waiting for? Once again, I want to thank Monster Legends for sponsoring today's video. Now then, let's get started. Number 1. Brine has joined Tubies. Brine is a mystical figure in the Minecraft community, but in the Java edition, the actual account named Brine has joined the server twice. Once in 2014 and again in 2016. The account has a history of being stolen by hackers, so there's no telling who was actually behind the account joining, but it's interesting nonetheless, and kind of creepy. Number 2. Tubies has a naturally spawning snow golem. A snow golem is normally player-made by putting a pumpkin on top of 2 snow blocks. The Minecraft wiki says it shouldn't be possible for them to spawn naturally, but yet, Tubies has one, and you can see it for yourself by going to these coordinates on the seed. Because a pumpkin patch generated in an ice spikes biome, a pumpkin ended up on top of 2 snow blocks, creating this golem. It's pretty wild that this rare occurrence actually happened on 2B of all places. Number 3. Tubies was in a real art museum. In 2019, the V&A Dundee Museum in Scotland was holding an exhibit about the art of video games. One of the creators of the exhibit was a fan of Minecraft and specifically Tubies, so he reached out for permission to use some landscape footage from my videos. I agreed, and sure enough, around 6 months later, I started getting messages from fans of mine that they were seeing Tubies footage in the actual museum. The exhibit was titled Video Games, Design, Play, Disrupt. It's pretty obvious which of these 3 Tubies falls under, but it's pretty cool to know that your favorite Minecraft server is chaotic enough to be considered art. Since we're on the topic of the real world, Number 4. Tubies has been in actual books. Now, there have been thousands of Minecraft-related books published over the years, some of them official, some of them not. But before Tubies even blew up on YouTube back in 2016, the server was already notorious enough to end up in at least 2 unofficial Minecraft books. The description of the server back then was pretty similar to how it still is. A place with no rules and littered with hunters trying to kill all newcomers. The more things change, the more they stay the same, huh? Number 5. Pyrobites' dog is still alive. Pyrobite is often considered one of the most powerful Tubies players of all time, and at one point was considered the de facto king of the server. But unlike other server legends, he's one of the few who quit many years ago and has never returned in any capacity. The legend may be long gone, but one of his dogs still survives to this day at an undisclosed location. Makes you wonder how many other pets belonging to server legends may still exist. Number 6. Command blocks have no evidence of ever being placed. The server has a history of bedrock, barrier blocks, end portal frames, and other illegal items being obtained in survival. As you would expect, back in the day, Pyrobite managed to obtain command blocks as well. He even gave one to famous builder Jack the Ripper. Even though Pyro told me personally that he had them, this is some of the only photographic evidence that they did actually exist. But despite that, there is no evidence that one of them was actually placed in the world. Over the years, there have been fabricated screenshots by Tubies players, but all of them have been debunked as fake, with the creators of the screenshots even admitting it. So until we have concrete evidence, it cannot be proven that one of them was actually placed. Number 7. The server's admin, Housemaster, once griefed a base. House has always been known as a hands-off kind of admin, rarely intervening in the day-to-day lives of players. But in the early days of the server, House was occasionally mischievous, and is pictured here actually griefing someone's base. For the server's admin to grief your base, you must have really messed up. Badly. Number 8. Tubies hasn't skipped a night in 5 years. 2016 was the last time the server was desolate enough in player count for nighttime to actually be skipped using a bed. There's a good chance night will never be skipped on the server ever again. Even if everybody online agreed to sleep in a bed at the same time, there are usually bots logged in that do nothing but AFK, so even with player cooperation, it's still likely impossible. Number 9. The server has a secret height limit. It's pretty obvious that elytras have been a problem in the server's past. They've been used to crash it, as well as allow players to fast travel using exploits. Well, believe it or not, House quietly imposed a height limit to prevent players from going too high in the sky. The old limit used to be Y level 384, but these days, the height limit is 1024. If you try to go higher than this, you'll be teleported back to this level. Since there's no reason to really fly this high, most players are unaware of the height limit's existence. Number 10. The server once had illegal ghast spawners. Ghasts were once created in the overworld with illegally obtained spawn eggs, and this is something I saw with my own eyes back in 2015, but somehow, a few of these eggs made it into the hands of other players, and they were used to convert regular spawners into ghast spawners. I was lucky enough to stumble upon one of them many years ago. Considering how long ago this was, it's likely that there are none left in existence, but this is Tubies, so you never know. If you're enjoying the video so far, if you consider hitting that like and subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. We're halfway through the list, just like half of my viewers aren't actually subscribed, so if you join us, you're a legend. Now then, let's continue. Number 11. Tubies Q record is over 2,000. The server's queue can get pretty long at times, but the record for the longest wait was well over 2,000 people. This is enough of a wait where if you join the queue right after a server restart, there's a chance you wouldn't even be able to log in before the next server restart, which usually happens once every day or two. And speaking of queue, number 12, Tubies Q can actually be explored. Normally when you're waiting, you're just looking at empty void and can't interact with anything. It's pretty dull. However, using a free cam hack, you can actually look around the queue area. If you go out far enough, you'll find that the queue actually has a world border, something that is not normally visible. Pretty interesting that the void is not actually just a void. Number 13, the Nether has unpatched bedrock holes. For some reason, Tubies Nether spawn has holes in bedrock that lead into the void. This is surprising as normally in the past, bedrock holes were patched by plugins and sometimes manually by House. But using exploits, players managed to delete bedrock on the Nether floor, and from time to time, a player actually falls in. If you're in the area, make sure to watch your step. Number 14. Tubies.org is not the server's original IP. Everyone knows the server today is tubi2t.org, but the original IP was tubi2t.net. At first, this doesn't seem like a video-worthy fact, but in 2016, this actually became relevant. When the server's first YouTube invasion began in June of 2016, Housemaster put up a temporary map to prepare the server for a new update and funnel the influx of new players. Using tubi2t.org, you would connect to the temporary map. However, longtime players that still had .net in their server list were still able to join the old map. I remember being one of the old players to know about this. In total, there were 11 of us still on the old map. We talked in public chat about the invasion and how we'd never seen anything like it. In a way, we were saying our goodbyes to each other because we knew that the server was about to change forever. Number 15. The Tubi2t website is the longest running joke in the community. Originally, the server ran on donations alone, and there was no queue system to fund the server. The donation counter could be seen on the server's website. At one point, House claimed that some of the donation money would be used to create a new website, but when the old site was finally taken down, it was never replaced. As the years went by, the missing website became a long-running joke in the community. There are currently no plans for the website to ever return. Number 16. Some Tubi2t God apples are glitched. For some reason, a few select enchanted gold apples on the server have 2 NBT tags instead of just 1. There's no verified explanation for why these items exist, but they are highly sought after by collectors and often get duped whenever exploits are active. Despite having this oddity, the gapples still work normally and can be consumed at the player's leisure. It's a fun novelty, but otherwise useless. Number 17. Every message of the day was made by a community member. When you put Tubi2t into your server list, you'll be greeted by a random message underneath the name. All of these were created by members of the community and implemented by House. They can range from inside jokes to random coordinates and even jabs at other players. You never know what you might see when the server pops up. This randomized chaos is very fitting for an anarchy server. Number 18. 1.1 was the server's shortest Minecraft version. Out of all the updates after Minecraft was formally released with 1.0 in 2011, version 1.1 was on Tubi2t for the shortest amount of time at just over 2 months. This is also the shortest fact in this video. Number 19. Locked chests were obtained in survival. Locked chests were a joke item added in a Minecraft April Fool's update back in 2011. The chest would spawn randomly in worlds on April 1st and could not be opened. They were a spoof of the crates found in the game Team Fortress 2. None of them ever spawned naturally on Tubi2t, but when the server was backdoored for the first time, the notorious griefer Pop Bob actually managed to obtain them and place them in the world. These chests were eventually removed from the game in version 1.7.2 and as such were never seen again. Number 20. A Tubi2t player was allegedly visited by the United States Secret Service. This is the one you've probably waited the whole video for. Many years ago, a player named Polly the Parrot, who was a part of Facepunch at the time, said something publicly that you're not supposed to say on the internet. And for obvious reasons, I can't put it in this video. But it was severe enough that the Secret Service showed up at his doorstep to investigate the threat. At the time, Polly confirmed that this had happened. However, this is the only fact on this list today that is somewhat disputed. One of Polly's classmates has said that he never brought it up in class, but that he wouldn't put it past him either. I mean, it makes sense. If you got a visit from the Secret Service, you probably wouldn't be bragging about it to people you know in real life. I actually tried to reach out to Polly directly for comment on this incident since it's been many years, but there was no response, so I guess this last one is still up for speculation. But that right there is a list of 20 things you probably didn't know about the server. If you enjoyed the video, you better be hitting that like and subscribe button. I also want to thank Monster Legends once again for sponsoring the video. You can download it in the description below. Take it easy, Fit Fam, and stay alive out there.